afternoon, good evening, good morning, folks. It's man on Mage, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bottom Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Folks, we're almost at the end of the week. Woo! Oh, I remember those days. You look forward to Friday. Friday just around the corner. The weekend's around the corner, baby. I used to have a job where I was off on Fridays. I used to tell guys, "Say, why you fools at work? I'm at home watching cartoons, eating cereal on Fridays." So, folks. Also, folks, I got some great news. My channel hit 5,000 subscribers today. Today, I hit 5,000 subscribers. I've been doing this for 7 years now, folks. This is really fast. I just hit 4,000, no more about the end of last year, and now I'm at 5,000. And I really appreciate y'all, you guys who are fans of this channel, you ladies who are fans of this channel, who competes in the sport of bodybuilding, who support my content. I really truly appreciate y'all. So, folks, so let's get to the nits and bayers. Here we have a lovely lady here. She just turned pro last year at the USA Championships. She competes in the figure division. We have here the lovely Mrs. Madeline Stanek. And there she is. She gives you a flex, guys. So be kind. It's cool. Now, Madeline is from the land down under. Originally from Australia, and her path of getting the bodybuilding is very interesting, and her story she wants to share with us. And also, she's prepping for her pro debut. So she's going to tell us what show she's going to be doing, and also her plans for the rest of, can you believe it? It's almost the middle of 2026. Summer's around the corner. So welcome, Mrs. Stanek, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem, no problem. This is a question I ask you, ladies. What got you started in sports? I call it muscle and masculinity. Please share.
How I got started in bodybuilding? So honestly, I had never thought of it. I never thought about doing it. I was athletic as a kid, and I did swimming and tennis and things like that. But I'd only ever seen bodybuilders in movies and things, and female bodybuilders in movies were like huge, and I never really was interested in being that size particularly. But it wasn't until 2019 I met Wendy Fortino, my coach. I just saw her in LA Fitness in Oceanside, and yeah, so I'd never seen a female bodybuilder look so beautiful and so muscular at the same time. So I was fascinated, and I went straight up to her and I was like, "Who are you?" And I need to know what you do. So yeah, that's how we met Matt Allen and Wendy Fortino, and basically we signed up with them that year, and we did our first show. Just basically we were like, oh, let's just try and see if we can do it. And then we stepped off of that first stage, and we booked the next show straight away. We were like hooked immediately. And yeah, so that was 7 years ago now. I've done 13 shows, so, and I'm obsessed.
Yeah, well, bodybuilding, it can be, for a stream of the sport, it can be excessive because you get to train, work out, change the aspects of your body, especially when it comes to a woman. Most people think when you see women with muscle, you're all big and muscly and manly. You just, why you want to do something like that? And and it's always the question, like, what of the debate of, is it a sport? Is it like, shout out to, I got a friend in here. He mentions, is it a discipline? What particularly you enjoy about being a bodybuilder and also being competitive?
I enjoy like the structure that and the discipline that it takes to do this sport. So my whole day is structured and routine, which has helped me. It actually has helped me mentally. Yeah, it's just it sort of mellows me out, and I think bodybuilding, like female bodybuilding especially, it's an art form. And I mean, the slogan of our team, Cyber Body Shop, is success requires obsession. You have to be obsessed to be successful in this sport. And I think I think that's become really true for me because the more obsessed I got, the more successful I got. So, but yeah, no, I love everything about it. I could talk about bodybuilding all day, every day. So,
Yeah, like I said, when my discussion with you ladies, it really is a passion sport.
mhm.
It's everything that's involved with it, from the training to the dieting to just building muscle, seeing your body transform. And she mentioned her coach is Wendy Fortino and also Matt Allen. They are top competitors. Wendy is a multiple time Olympian. Matt is a top coach who's been in the game quite some time. Whitney, I'm a fan of Whitney Fortino. I think she has a great physique. I mean, I've been trying to get her on as a guest, a few times. I just want to get my hands on Wendy. I think, if you watch this, Wendy, I'm waiting for you. But besides the point, we have your comment here from my man KL the Wanderer. Shout out to him. He says, "Good evening. Good evening to you, brother." So now, I can hear from your accent, you're from the land down under. So that's where your birthplace, or what was your life like before you got into the sport of bodybuilding?
Well, so I've always been an expatriate. So like my nationality is Australian. My mom and dad are Australian, and they were born and raised in Australia. But I was actually born in the Middle East, in the United Arab Emirates. So it's super random, but people always assume that I was a military kid. But it's actually my dad is a camel specialist. He's a veterinarian, and he now clones camels for the royal family over there. So it's really
Oh,
random, but yeah.
yeah, cloning. Like, remember a few years ago they were cloning sheep. I think that's very interesting. Maybe in the future we might get humans cloned. You got to be careful. That's kind of a touchy subject
I
when you talk
know.
about
Yeah.
that.
Well, you can watch his doc. There's a documentary on Netflix called King of Clones, and it actually
Oh,
talks about how close they got to cloning humans.
yeah.
So it's very
Okay.
hush hush, though, I think.
Shh, don't tell nobody. So, yeah, yeah. So, what was that like the first time you started competing? Because you've been working with Wendy ever since. What was that like that first time for yourself?
Um, it was. I mean, I was terrified. I do have stage fright, and I still do, actually. But it's gotten better every time I've competed, and I'm just like, I'm that type of person that, like, if something scares me, I'm like, I need to keep doing that until it goes away. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's the only way that you can get over some of these things, and just continue exposing yourself to that environment. But I love it. I mean, I always get the butterflies before I get on stage, but as soon as I get on stage, I'm like, all right. And then I step off stage and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could do that again. So it's just like, it's a rush. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the other competitors talk about it. It's a rush like nothing else. And you think about it, you dream about it every day.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I've talked to people with how it's that feeling when you get on stage and you present yourself. You work hard, you train hard, come in your best shape, and you go out there and you only have maybe a minute or so because you're in figure where
yeah.
you just got to do a lot of turns, where it's not a lot of posing. You just got to do turn your back like that. But it's the experience. Everybody have different. I remember one lady told me how her first time she had to get a little, tipsy because
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because some people they do. Some people are not naturally comfortable being a center of attention or being out there. There's that idea of being stage fright. But then once you get over your fear, then you realize, you know what? I'm doing something I really love.
Yeah, no, it took me a long time to, like, I still get the butterflies. I probably still have stage fright, but now I can go, it's just adrenaline. Like, you're just excited. So I try to, like, keep that in my head when I'm backstage. And yeah, and I have tried, doing a little bit of that backstage. So that helps calm the nerves, so, and lower your heart rate. But yeah.
takes the edge out a little bit. I've never been much of a drinker myself. I sipped some when I was younger and here and there, but never really much into it. We got a comment from a man, KL. The Wanderer says, "Was wearing high heels difficult for you on stage?"
Yes, extremely. Because I don't wear heels at all outside of bodybuilding. So I do have to practice a lot, but it helps when like I invested in some really good heels that are like nice and cushy, and they have like nice platform and things like that. So some girls think that it's better to go really high, like but you need stability, so you have to find that happy medium. So for me, that's like 4.5 inches for the heel. But yeah.
Mhm. It's part of your equipment. It's next to your posing suit, you're wearing your heels, especially divisions like bikini, wellness, fit model, excuse me. Ha! I'm not a fan of this division. I'm just going to say, it's part of the equipment. I interviewed one lady, and she turned pro figure a few years ago, and she loves her high heels. She will, go on the treadmill and walk, as a cardio wearing her high heels. But then I had the flip side. Some ladies who were one time in figure, they say once they got a figure, they were happy to get those clop hoppers off because
I don't put them on until they start calling us up to line us up to go on stage. I don't know. Like, so I am like, I've got a lot of practice and everything, and I do wear them around the house and stuff like that to try and get comfortable. But no, I try to wear them for the shortest amount of time that day. So yeah.
Yeah, one of my old jobs I used to have when I'm much younger, man. Well, not too a few years ago, I used to work in a gentleman's club, and and the girls used that's what was part of their equipment, the high heels. You want to look presentable, you want to look like you're a little taller, and with figure, it's the division that's for women who have that kind of statuesque look. Why did you choose figures? Because I know quite a few ladies would start out in bikini, but you said directly figure was your direct choice.
Matt and Wendy chose it for me. Pretty much. They were like, you are figure, because I had already been weightlifting for quite some time. I had already been weightlifting for, I want to say, 5 years. And then, yeah, I'd already like built up quite a lot of muscle and naturally. And yeah, they were just my structure. I had a wider back. So yeah.
Yeah, we figure you have that round shoulders, the wider back. You have that. Have quite a few. I've been interviewed quite a few figure painters. How you have that upside down Dorito look. Very rectangle shape and very small into the waist. That's the look that's very popular in figure. But you're seeing it also in other divisions, such as even in we see bikini girls who could do figure. If you've been
Yeah.
behind stage. Yeah.
Bikini's getting bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say about fit models. Just you bring in something that's going to end up looking like that division after a while. I mean, it's the evolution of every sport. You got girls in figure right now who could do with his physique. Yeah, we're in physique can do with his bodybuilding. It's just evolution of every athlete over time.
I know. I'm hoping with the introduction of Fit Model that it would really favor me if all the divisions would trend down a little bit. So, but it's probably not going to happen. But that'd be cool.
Yeah, possibly. We got some comments. Let me put my old man glasses on here. From my man Kid, the Wanderer, he says this shot to my man KL says, how do you put yourself more out there in terms of engaging in the public as a bodybuilder? Yeah.
I think what helps me is well, I'm affiliated with Pure Nutrition in Temecula, and we do team lifts every month, and then just anytime there's a posing seminar, I'll try to make it. And and sometimes I get to teach at those posing seminars, so that helps me also with my social anxiety. Is like it's gotten better over time, but yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm in the public eye, but I try to I try to engage with the community as much as I can, because I just want to be more involved in bodybuilding in general. So yeah.
Mhm. Well, it's good to put yourself out there, like especially you have a sponsor. That's one thing that's important when the sport of bodybuilding being sponsored because this is a special sport. The cost between travel, shows, entry fees. Now you're no longer amateur, but you still some. If you do masters, you have to do entry fees. If you do master shows,
Mhm.
the food, the cost. I know you got. Hey, your coaches they're not working for free. So
No, they're not.
yeah,
Yeah, I that is the goal to get as many sponsors as I can. But at the moment, I'm just affiliated with Pure Nutrition and then and Wolfpack. So those are a couple of good ones. And then yeah, we used to be affiliated with like um, meal prep companies and things like that. Me and my husband, but I like cooking for myself. So that'd be more of an off season kind of thing if I wanted to dabble with meal prep companies because they don't always cook it the way you want. Yeah, so I like to be in control of that. Like I need to know that they didn't use like a seed oil or something, but yeah.
yeah, be careful because you never. Some bodybuilders I've talked to have some issues with food, or they may have digestive problems, or something may not work good for them in their prep. I know one lady told me that during her prep she'd take sweet potatoes out because it gave her some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Or one lady she tells me she don't even eat rice because she has digestive issues. It's good that you cook for yourself, but some of these companies do help save the cost of the time you got to put in because you want maybe put it towards other things, especially with your family, like your husband you mentioned. So how long you
Yeah.
together? What y'all meet?
We've been married for 12 years. We met in Florida. So I was living, that's where I lived when I was a kid. But then I came back in my 20s and met him shortly after when I came back. And yeah, and then he joined the Marines shortly after I met him. And then we ended up in California in 29 Palms. So it was kind of a whirlwind. Um, we started our marriage like we hit the ground running with everything. Like we had kids pretty soon, and then yeah, it was all crazy. But I wouldn't have if I could go back in time, I wouldn't change a thing. So I think it's great that we have an 8 year old and a 10 year old now, and they're pretty independent and like they love the whole bodybuilding thing, and they come to the shows with us, and yeah, so it's good.
Oh,
It's good that we did that early.
that's great that your babies support you. And for your husband, he served our country. I don't say thank you for your service because you're not providing service. As he served our country, I would say as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice he made as a citizen on behalf of this country. That is really, anybody, because I had family members, my oldest niece, my youngest nephew in the army. I know I had some cousins in the Marine Corps. I even was thinking about joining, but I got a job, so that life happens. And and what about your rest of your family, like your mom and your dad? What have they ever come to your shows? Do they support you? How would they feel about that little gal up there on the stage? He nearly half butt naked.
It was early on. They weren't too happy about it. um, but because like it just, I think in certain communities there's a little bit of a stigma about bodybuilding. Like it's such a vain sport, or is it even a sport, or like, and people just kind of look at bodybuilding as they're just meatheads and they abuse PEDs, stuff like that. So it was it was hard at the start, but they came around. And I mean, my dad is a very sporty guy as well, so he was kind of pumped that like I was doing something athletic and getting into like competing and stuff like that in general. So yeah, no, they both came around, but and my dad actually he flew from the Middle East to one of my shows. He came to the USA's in 2023, and I was hoping I'd get my pro card at the show that he came to, but it didn't. It didn't happen. But yeah, no, they're both pretty supportive now. So
Yeah. That's the thing, because this is a very extreme sport to look at, especially when it comes to women. It's one thing if guys get big and beefy and all built up, but then women is a different thing. Yes, there's always an accusation of use of PED steroids, but his thing is, it's only used as recovery. it helps when you, as you know, it tears the muscles and it helps build back the muscles. I mean, and there's more abuse in other sports like football, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
I've done content on MMA, and I know MMA fighters. One MMA fighter, she talked about how her husband does a little bodybuilder, and she said she took some steroids, accidentally think it was birth control. Come on, yeah, you know better than that. But it's just because it's seen as not as much as sport. Because this one thing is, it's a sport where you're not really making much of a living. We're just talking about sponsorship can help. We have a comment. Shout out to my man Lawrence Perkins coming through. He says this. He says, "Hello, Madeline. Everyone on here, appreciate you, brother." Also, to my man KL, the one that says, "Madeline, did you know Wendy had a cameo appearance on Magazine Dreams? You know that?"
Yes. I
Yeah.
I was kicking myself because I got invited to be one of the extras in that. And but I don't know, I had come off of my third show of the season that year, and I just went off the rails and I gained like 20 pounds within 2 weeks of the show. And so when I got invited to be an extra in that, I was like, no. I was like, I don't want to be on camera like this. So that was, yeah, I was having post show blues. So I'm still kicking myself for that. And I will never let that happen again.
Yeah, that's the thing is because of there's so much mental aspects to the sport of bodybuilding. You can talk about post-show blues and also body dysmorphia, and also, as you know, you can't maintain that shred look all day. You can't look rock hard all year long because it's not healthy. But again, you know, you feel wasn't you you feel comfortable with the idea of like I'm a little bit fluffy. But then somebody say, "Hey, you look pretty good. You know, we can you can be a girl wearing you leotards and lifting a little 5 pound weight, dancing to Olivia Newton Johnson. Let's get physical, physical." But
Yeah.
but you know what? It's always great to have opportunity. You never know what happens from that. I know a lady, she also appeared in a movie a while back. It was a movie called Love, Live, Bleeding. Her name is Monica Perez. She's IFBB pro, and she had a little cameo in the movie herself. You know, opportunity is so rare, far few between, especially for bodybuilders.
I know. And so I'm hoping like these days I've gotten a lot better with like just at least maintaining like 15% body fat and just like only a little bit of weight gain, like where I'm not uncomfortable. So that comes with experience. And I think reverse diet is harder than prep, honestly. Trying to control those cravings and things like that after shows. So yeah, I definitely want to stay. I want to stay like within range, where like if I got invited to something like that, I could just sort of tighten up for the part. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And Wendy stays in shape all the time. I swear, I have never seen her even the slightest bit fluffy. It's crazy. I don't know. She is a genetic anomaly. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I mean, obviously, she works really hard. But yeah, she's blessed.
She's like, you remember that wrestler Scott Steiner? They call him Big Papa Pump. He says, "I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal." So you know that's what we say. She's a genetic freak. She's not
That's
normal.
Wendy. Yes, that's Wendy.
Yeah, we have another compliment. Comment from my man KL, the one who says, "How long did it take you to get your pro card?"
It took, so I did 13 shows, including four USAs, four attempts. So yeah, it took 7 years. It took me a long time, and I know of quite a few people where we call it in the industry, we call it a one prep pro. I know a few of those people where they did they prepped for one show and then they did the USA straight after that, and then they went pro. So they only had to like prep for 3 months and then boom, they got their pro card the first try.
Mhm.
But not me. But I tell people that I think it was a good thing because by the time I became a pro, I I already felt like a pro and I was ready to represent the IFBB. So
Yeah, I I know one lady. She turned pro also at that show, Rania Thompson, if I got her name wrong, Rania, and I got to see her when she made a pro debut at Tampa last year. And you know, and she's planning on competing on some shows. I think she's going to do Tampa again. Amazing young lady. She has great look to her. I remember I think also Hunter Henderson, she also turned pro at the USA's, and that was her bodybuilding debut that year. She did one show. She did a regional show in Omaha. Then she did the USA's, and she made her pro debut at Tampa in 2021. But then she took like a few years off. She came back and did pretty good last couple of shows. Shout out to my man Lawrence. He's always getting some great advice. Says, let 12 years of both of you and your husband marriage be a lifetime. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. And also, shout out to my man KL the Wanderer. He says this. He says, that's a pity that you have the face to be a movie, but you might get another opportunity. Yeah, you never know. Hollywood is. I think one thing with Hollywood is the stigma when it comes down to women with muscle, because it's not considered feminine if you look at it.
No.
And then someone like yourself, even you're not as big as someone like some ladies I follow, like Andrea Shaw. She's my girlfriend. She's my favorite, and so many other ladies in the sport. But again, there's always a stigma when it comes to it. When women who have muscle. I mean, one lady I've interviewed where her name is Christina Parks, and she mentions how guys make comments on it. And if you ever seen Christina, she's a beautiful woman. I don't see me, because I hate my crime is Miss Stanek. I am a muscle very small. Y'all ladies excite me. But what I see, it may be the same as everybody else, especially to the outside observer.
Yeah, so I get comments all the time, like all the time. People feel quite comfortable coming up to me and saying like, don't you think you're taking a little too far with this bodybuilding thing? Like, it's just crazy how comfortable people feel coming up to bodybuilders. It's really strange. But I would never. And then online, it's a lot worse. Like I've had to filter comment like hundreds of words on there so that I don't have to see comments about like calling me manly, things like that. Like I'm used to it, but you never really get fully used to it. Yeah. So there definitely is a stigma. People don't understand bodybuilding and female bodybuilding in general. But they also don't really, I don't think a lot of them know the definition of femininity. Like how does one person define femininity? So it's in the eye of the beholder. Like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If my husband thinks I'm beautiful and I think I'm beautiful, like I'm beautiful, like period. So I don't know.
Well, to other guy would say this. He says this. He says, "You are beautiful." He can't help himself. And that's the thing is, it's people have their idea of what is feminine. One thing is what makes a woman is that you have babies, you have kids. That's most definitely one sign. I think this is about what fuels your fire, what gets you going. Everybody has different things about them. You're gonna have those people who have issue with it. At first your father say, "That's my little guy. I don't think I want to see all buffed and muscular. I don't need another son." But then you have the flip side here. Some guy says, "Yeah, I like a big buff muscles. I kind of, let me see a little something. Click, click. No, don't send that shit, guys. Stop that, you sick freaks. Be nice, be gentle." So, folks, what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna jump into Madeline's social media for a little bit. You want to follow her link description of this live stream. Interested in supporting her, interested in seeing her journey as a pro, reach out and get your interest. And maybe sponsorship does help to cover the cost of everything that comes through as a bodybuilder, because this is a sport where you're putting more into it, but not getting as much back out of it. But guys out there, if you are a hater, get off her social media. If you are a lover, appreciate it, but don't be too much of a lover. Don't be that weird guy. She has a husband, he's ex-Marine. I heard those jarheads can whip your head off. They whip your head off and shit down your throat. And body too. So he whip your head off and shit down your throat. So we're gonna jump on into social media. So you want to follow the links in the description of the live. So here she is, and was from, I think this was from the USA's. What was that feeling like when he heard you were now IFBB pro?
Oh, it was incredible. I've been waiting a long time to hear that. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock, pretty much. And it honestly, it took like days to come down from that. It was probably my one of my most favorite memories of all time.
What's critique for the judges? Because you won in your class, but you didn't get to overall.
Oh, so no, I came second in my class. But the girl that beat me, we were told by several people, like Wendy Fortino, but also like other judges and things. It was pretty much between the two of us. So whoever was going to win that class was going to win the USA's. So she was amazing, the girl that beat me, but she edged me out a little bit just because she had a smaller waist and her quads, the lines in her quads were a little deeper. So,
Yeah.
but other than
And
that, we were pretty close.
there goes your man there. He's like he's hugging his woman. He's so proud of you. So he competes. What division he competes in? There goes Whitney.
Classic physique.
So men's figure. So okay. So and that's a great
Yeah.
experience there. There goes your babies. Hugging you. I know. What was like after the show? What y'all do? Did y'all party? You have a good time. You go. What was that thing that you wanted after this long prep? The thing you finally got to taste. Uh,
We
Madeline. What can I call
went
you, Maddie? Hmm?
we went straight to In and Out. And I got two double doubles. That's
Yeah.
all. That's honestly what I was craving. And then I usually do like a huge breakfast the next day. So we stopped at I think it's called Black Bear Diner, and that's my favorite. So yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's your favorite? Like, when you're on prep, what's that thing that you sometimes you crave the most, especially because prep is tough. You have to be strict to a diet. You have to be consistent to your diet. That's one thing people got to remember about bodybuilding is consistency and discipline.
I do miss like pasta and stuff like that. um, but I'm a save like I'm not a sweet tooth, so that probably helps me a lot. I just love like salty foods like pizza, pasta, burgers, chips, stuff like that. So anything salty.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Me personally, I'm a sweet. I'm a sweet. I was like sweet. I like sweet stuff. I mean, I should be careful because I'm pre-diabetic, but it's just something about it. My mom used to make these cakes, and she was really good at them. I like a nice little bun or something like that. It's just training. And what's your day like during your week when you're training? What's the things that you have to do in your practice?
Um, I get up most mornings at 6, and then I do my 45 minutes of fasted cardio, and then I get the kids up for school, get them dressed, and take them to school, and then I'll come back and like have breakfast and everything like that, and then I'll pretty much head out to the gym from there. And then I'll do my workout, posing, and then come home and uh, sometimes I'll have like a massage client or something, and then or sometimes I have school in the evenings, and then I'll do my PM cardio. So like my schedule is not too bad at the moment because I'm not working full time, so I can commit all my time and energy to this prep, which is nice.
So you're a massage therapist. That's what you do for a living.
So I graduate massage school on the 30th of this month, and then I'll be a massage therapist. Yeah.
I
But
studied
I
a
kind
little
of
bit.
have
Go ahead.
clients on the side.
Yeah. I studied a little bit. I was studying for a good while, but then my car broke down. Couldn't go back forth to school. I had some practice with some of the girls in the club. So hey, I made some money on the side too. It's you gotta hustle, especially in this what's going on. And like here she is doing some little posing, and Whitney does everything from your posing to your diet to everything.
Both Matt and Wendy. So Matt pretty much mostly handles the diet and the check-ins and things like the weekly check-ins. He's the mastermind behind most of that, but she probably helps him design, the training protocol and everything like that too. And then Wendy does my posing and stuff. So she coaches me on posing.
Mhm.
But yeah.
So she really does a good job. What do you feel like is your best feature overall? If you look yourself in the mirror, what do you feel like the thing that really stands out about you physically?
Um, so I've been told that I have like really good tie-ins, glute hamstring tie-ins. And so that definitely helps because people say that shows a one from the back. So if you have like a nice wide back, a thick, deep back, and then you also have the glute hamstring tie-ins, you're gonna be a contender for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, I have heard that quite often that the back can make or break how you place.
Mhm.
Everything can look good from the front. You can have great round shoulders, everything's popping, but then if you don't have that great connection with your tie-ins between your glutes and your hamstrings, if you don't have that good width and depth in your back, it may not help you in your placing. But the thing is,
Yeah.
it's trial and error as a bodybuilder.
Mhm.
You know, is there anybody in the sport? I know you love Wendy. Is there somebody in the sport you're a fan of? You're just when you get to see them and you're astonished by their work ethic, their physique, their just overall representation as a bodybuilder. Is there anybody that stands out to you in the sport?
Um, Andrea Shaw is
Yes, I
definitely,
love.
and then Sydney Gillen. She's just amazing and even more amazing now. Somehow, I don't know how she could get more amazing, but she's and obviously now retired. But I follow her on TikTok, and I get to follow and watch her on her little side quests, and she's like getting better at like doing hip hop dancing and just doing all the things that she probably missed out on when she was defending her Olympia title. So it's just cool to watch. She's an inspiring person all around.
Yeah, I mean, she did I think a reality show for Mr. Beast. Heard a couple of IV pros a while back, so that's something big. Also, as again, I love Andrea Shaw. She's my favorite. Her and Sid, as you know, they promote the Triple O Dynasty. That's right there in your way out. It's out west. It's in Arizona. You're in California, and that they just had the first year. Great show. Got to watch it. Enjoyed it. Andrea is my favorite because I'm gonna tell you the story, and this is and always I say like this. A quote from my other guy: "If you give us something, Madeline, never do it for free." And for me, I call this a payment. My friend, her name is Eunice, and Eunice runs a company called Bad Rap. It's the moniker is Big and Defined, Ripped and Pump, and they are out here. They were one of the sponsors, along with a friend of mine, David, for the Triple O this year. And Eunice, she was like a few years ago. She was at the Olympia when it was in Orlando, and she ran into Andrea, and she picked this up for me. And she mailed it to me like a week after my birthday. And it's an issue of Must Development, Andrea the Shaw. This is the last hard copy. They don't make them anymore. They've gone digital. And what
Cool.
makes it special for me, and especially for a fan of women's bodybuilding in general, when the champ, the six-time, seven-time Miss Olympia tells me she appreciates what I do and she says thank you. And
Oh, that's so
and just
cool.
yeah, it just I love it. I hug it. I call it church. So and it's great. It's amazing women. Like I got to meet Ashley Jones. She gave me a shout out a while back. Um, got to meet some amazing women in my process, do interviews or in person. I'm planning on going to show in a few months, and because I want to be out there just to get to meet and talk to you ladies and get to know y'all. So we got some comments here. Shout out to my guests that been sticking in here. We got here. This is from. I believe this is from Mark. I believe he says, Mark. He says, Marco. He says Marco from Oakland. He says, I saw her at Riverside last year. Great competitor. He also says this. Um, now you're secured your pro card. What is the one specific area of your physique on stage presents you feel need to the most pro level
I think the footage froze. Hold on. Can you hear me, George? I can't hear you. I think it's frozen. Oh. What do I do? Is the I've got internet and bars and everything. Oh. George, if you can hear me, I think it's frozen. I don't know. I'm going to re-enter the link.
Sorry.
So where did you go?
It was a
Hold on.
quick
I can't
little.
hear you now, though.
Yeah. Huh?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Let
don't
me
know what's
let me
going on.
let me do something. Go in and go out. Just go in and go out. Just
There's
wait.
no sound coming through.
Give me a second. Let me see a
My
message.
mic is on. My speaker is
Go
on.
out. And
Strange. Can you hear me, though?
can you hear me now? It's something on my end. I hate to
Okay, I'm
check.
going to go out and come back.
Yeah, go ahead and go back out, folks.
Oops.
I don't know what happened, folks. We had a little blackout for a minute. It just happened quickly while I was um, alive. Maybe I should start pre-recording these, but yeah. So go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go. Yeah, go in, go out. I think it's what's going on. Let me do this. Hope she might come back in. But folks, I had a little blackout. It was just only like a second. The lights went out for a second in the middle of my conversation. Um, Here she is. Let's see this. Okay. All right. You hear
Sorry.
me?
Yes, I
No.
don't know what was happening.
It was my end. We just had like a little quick little. Don't know what the hell happened. Just the lights went out just for it flickered just a second, and
Oh,
it
that's good.
totally put my Wi-Fi out, and now I had to start over again. But back to conversation. Give me a second. Where I think should I repeat it? Let me see. Let's repeat it again because take two. He said this. He says, "Now that you've secured your Pro card, What is one specific area of your physique on stage presence you feel needs the most pro level refinement before your debut?
Um, my yeah, I mean, overall stage presence and confidence can always improve for me, and anyone in general probably, except for Wendy. So- she's always she's always so graceful and poised and confident. So that's something that I'm constantly working on. Other than that, in there's not too much I can do. Like, I feel like I've gotten to a certain stage with posing and things like that. There's only so much I can do in the next 3 weeks. I'm gonna try and keep perfecting things until then. 3 weeks is 3 weeks. I can do a lot, but you know, it's getting to the point where it's like I'm not gonna change too much in this at this stage. Because otherwise I probably won't remember to do it on stage anyway.
So you're saying 3 weeks out. So what's the show you're gonna make your debut in? Because you
I'm doing the Southern California, and it's in conjunction with the Zanarota Figure Pro. So it's the Muscle Contest Southern California and Zanarota.
Oh, okay. I heard that show. I think it's very exclusively figure because I don't think there's other
Mhm.
divisions for that show. I've even talked about it on my channel. And figure is really has evolved over the years. As I said earlier, where some of the women in figure right now look like they could be doing physique. I mean, if you look also, Sydney was a standard, but now you have Rhea, who's at the top of the hill, and you have people like Laura Montez and Jessica Ray Badia. Um, as you know, the Pittsburgh Pro is this weekend, and there's some
Yes.
top competitors. It was kind of surprising. The list was not as deep like it was last year.
Yeah, I would love to do the Pittsburgh Pro, but I thought the Zanarota was more my speed for a pro debut. A single a single division show is probably good. And then I'll feel like once I get that out of the way, I definitely want to do some of those bigger shows. The Legion Sports Fest is cool. But the Rising Phoenix, an all women show with women judges, I would love to do that one. So yeah, but they are figure pro shows are very few and far between. So
Well, I say like this: compared to bodybuilding, y'all still
no,
have a
not
little bit
compared to
more.
bodybuilding, but yeah.
Y'all still have this stack because even though the Legion does not carry y'all division anymore,
Mm,
Arnold kicked out figure from his show. I mean Arnold, and Arnold and it's not a Toma. I mean I was kind of like I remember when he kicked out women's bodybuilding. I was like about 13 years ago. And then it's just so few and far between opportunities for certain divisions because I think like I talk about fit model, it's a new division because it has that look to it, go through a throwback. But
yeah,
again, after a while, you're seeing women coming from all the way from the bikini division going down to fit model. And I
yeah,
think and one thing that transformed women's physique the way it is because you're seeing women from bodybuilding coming down and still bringing those aesthetics around around the captains of the shoulders, the width, the depth. It's supposed to be a more lower maintenance division where you don't have to put in that much work.
mm, yeah. And I mean, so like I'm kind of on the fence with fit model. Like, obviously, bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding and figure and everything, and women's physique, that takes incredible effort, like unbelievable effort, years and years of work to get there, and that's why it's so incredible. But I I don't mind that there's a division like that because it brings more money to the sport. So I don't like. I mean, if anybody remembers what happened in 2020, and we almost lost a lot of, like, I mean, the Olympia was in trouble and things like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we don't want that to happen again.
Yeah, I know. Like there was so few shows women's bodybuilding this year. Well, just saw a promoter just added women's physique to a show, the Steve Carr show, and also with bodybuilding being added to show in Mexico. The opportunities. I think it's hard because again, it goes back to the fact that women with muscle, depending on the division, bikini, those women still look very, as they say, feminine and very aesthetically pleasing. And even the girls in wellness are. I'm looking at one girl. She looked like she could do women's bodybuilding or even physique. But again, it goes back to what is can bring attention to the sport because bodybuilding is not
Yeah.
as because you're from Australia. Many of you from ladies from Australia who do bodybuilding. It's a small community, but it really has gone worldwide over the years.
Well, yeah, like you said, it brings more attention to the sport, and a lot of people that would never consider joining and starting competing are now getting into bodybuilding, and just because they're starting in fit model doesn't mean they're not going to go up to like a bigger division. So that's the way I see it. I think it gives them a little doorway into the sport, gives them a little taste, and then yeah, I don't know. I think that side of it is a good thing. If the more people we can get involved in bodybuilding, the better.
I see your point, but at the same time, I'm as I often I say this, I'm a particular type of criminal, and fit model disgusts me. I just go, you know. I've been following bodybuilding for a long time, but again, it's about bodybuilding is still a business, and the point of it, and it's also trying to get attention for, it, especially when it comes for women. One thing I talk about this is the cost of compared to the men. The guys got to wear a pair of banana hands and boy shorts. Your husband's got to wear a $50, $60 pair of banana hammocks. You got to wear suits that's going to cost you like your car note, your rent, your baby's college fund. Your show day is probably one of the biggest expense for a woman. Your husband got to put on some hair gel, slap on a tan. He's good. You got to look very presentable. You have to get your hair done, your makeup done. You have to look very good. You have
Yeah,
to.
I it's a very expensive day for me. Like, if you include the suit, the hair, the makeup, at like just everything. Because I have to get my hair done first, like dyed and touched up and everything, and then also styled on the day. But I'm doing my own makeup this time. So, but Wendy usually does my makeup, my hair makeup, and she has done every single show. She's done my hair and makeup for, except for one. But this time she just happens to be in Tennessee. She's going to be at an expo in Tennessee. But yeah,
That's good.
it's
We
a very
have
expensive day.
Yes, best 50. I mean, it's just a presentation of to bring in a combination of femininity and muscularity. It's a tightrope you really have to walk sometimes.
Oh,
Shout out to our
it's
man,
part of the judging.
yeah. Shout out to our man, Red Samurai says, hello, Madeline. He also says, how are you? Which is fine.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you feel like as a competitor? What you think would take for you to get to that top level? If you feel like you really you go like a lot of competitors would be to go to Olympia. What do you feel like will be that thing that really can help you reach that level to hit that hump?
um, just I mean, more money would be good. I would definitely just keep competing all year if money wasn't a problem. Um, but I need more. It's just gonna take time. Like, uh, and I don't mind. I don't mind being patient. I know some competitors. I mean, I hope it doesn't take this long, but I know some competitors that it took them 15 years to win their first pro show. But that was women's physique. Um, but I mean, like, she just loved bodybuilding in general, so she didn't. Obviously she wanted to win, but it was pretty inspiring that she kept going after that long. And then she finally won, and she won the Rising Phoenix. I think that was like 2 years ago, I want to say. But that was one of my friends. But yeah, um, just time. That's all I can say. That's what it's going to take. Time um, and more experience and get better in posing and yeah, just dedication. That's what it's going to take.
Yeah, it's all involved with building a great physique and also the mindset of it. Because bodybuilding can be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially draining. And then to find the time, like I said again, you have a husband, you got kids, you have a future career, and then to be dedicated is most important. And also discipline and consistency and persistence. Because you know what? Most people think with bodybuilding, I just pop some pills, I can get big and yoked. But then if you don't stay with a plan, if you don't stick with, whatever got you to the game in the first place, and with some competitors, especially I think with young competitors, they can get easily distracted. They want everything quick, fast, in a hurry. But
Yes.
it doesn't work like that. You have to take time. I've seen ladies again who have competed 20 years for to get the pro card. And they do, and some take a step back for a minute. So you know what, let me take a break for a while, and I'll come
Mhm.
back and then just rejuvenate because again it goes back to the cost of being a bodybuilder, especially if, as an amateur. Now you come in as a pro, a new pro, you got to start from the ground up, and you compete with ladies who competed for a long time. Some ladies who've even been to the Olympia quite a few
Mhm.
times. And I know sometimes that you and Whitney have talked about things, especially her being an Olympian herself.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to go from, like, I mean, I feel like I was in a position in the amateurs where I was outgrowing the amateurs. And I got to a stage where I was winning everything that I was getting into, but and like the four overalls and things like that. So it was time to get into the pro leagues, but at the same time, like, it's quite intimidating because there's going to be ladies there that are just there to qualify for the Olympia, like, and it's nothing new to them. Like, so they're this is just one stop on the road to the Olympia, and there might be a couple that have already been to the Olympia, so it's a little intimidating, but I mean, I'm just so stoked to be getting the chance to stand next to some of these women. So it's going to be special.
Would you ever like to compete against your coach one day? You'll go mano a mano on the stage, and y'all be the last two, and saying who's going to go to Olympia? We got here
Yeah,
Madeline or Whitney. Go 1-on-1 with your coach. 1-on-1 with the great one.
I mean, there's at this stage in the game, there's no comparison. I mean, she would just demolish me. But it would be pretty cool if we got to stand next to each other on stage. I mean, I would frame that photo for sure.
Yeah, I think it's the thing is it's an experience for everybody who gets in this sport. The joy of it, to be in a place where you worked hard to get to, and to also to meet people who share your ambition for the sport. Bodybuilding again, it's seen as a fringe sport. It's not as popular. If you're maybe the few 1% up in the top who can make a living out of it, that's good. But many ladies I've talked to say they don't do it because it's about the money. They do it because they love it. This is their passion. Some ladies told me because bodybuilding saved their life. I've talked to ladies where, they were dealing with either mental abuse, physical abuse. They were dealing with issues with food, a lot of stuff, and they found this sport. Or some ladies like yourself at one point were athletic and they needed something to give them new energy, and this was something that gave them that.
Yes. Oh no, I definitely I think bodybuilding definitely saved me in a way. Like, after becoming like a new mom, and then I didn't I mean, you feel like you have a purpose, like the kids get you up every morning. You do feel like you have a purpose. But I didn't feel like I was like doing anything outside of that. And you, as a mom, you feel like you sort of lose your identity a little bit, because you're living for your children almost, especially when they're so little. So bodybuilding became like an outlet for me, and definitely, yeah, saved me mentally. Um, and that I think it's sort of become my medicine. Like, the gym is my medicine every day. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Especially if during the pandemic, it was hard for a lot of people not to be able to go to the gym because that gym was their second home, their church, their therapy. It's a place for them to go. It's
Mhm.
just, I used to work out a good bit. I used to go to I went to Planet Fitness, I used to, and I know it's not a bodybuilding gym, but I enjoyed doing that because when I was younger I played football, I did sports. And then I got into life and got a job, and then I was taking my mom for a long time, and then life can weigh on you, and then you need something to help with your mindset. Doing this content for me was something helped me with my dealing with my mom and her situations. After she passed, I didn't have much of anything else. I mean, I wasn't doing anything. Everybody in my family was grown. I have, brothers and sisters, and they have kids, and their kids have kids. And doing this content, talking to ladies like yourself, and hearing your stories, it gives me, a purpose, and to educate people. Know that, hey, these women not all these big buff monsters you think they are. These are nice ladies. She's a lovely lady. She got two kids. She got a husband. She has people that support and believe in her. This is why I do this, because share y'all voices and to let people know there's more to you than just these big muscles and all this stuff like that. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're someone who's dedicated to something, and this gives you a purpose
Mhm.
to guide you in your life.
Yeah. No, honestly, bodybuilding has enriched my life in so many ways. And fitness, I believe fitness and the discipline that you learn that comes from bodybuilding and things just translates into every other part of your life. Like I'm a better friend. I'm better at school. Because I used to like I dropped out of university when I was young, so but now like I'm better with my time management. Like it's just taught me so much about myself. So I think I just anyone that I can get into fitness, I I love the thought of helping people reach their full potential because I
Have
feel like
you
that's done that for me.
have you think about becoming a coach yourself and a trainer?
I have coached people. And we actually have my husband and I, we used to have a company called Mad Fit Personal Training. And like we did that for a while. We did online coaching and in-person coaching, but it just it was like very unreliable, like it was very seasonal. So, we couldn't really depend on it. So my husband went and got like a more like more regular job, and then I went to school and like we started doing different things. And I mean, I've thought about going back to it, but now I'm doing the massage therapy and then I'm focusing on competing myself, so it's sort of hard for me to sometimes I was kind of chasing people for their check-ins, and like be like, where's your photo? Like, why haven't you called me? Yeah, it was some of that was getting distracting because I was trying to focus on my own prep and but also trying to chase people to get them to do their prep. It was strange. Like I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I mean, I help people all the time, like friends and stuff, and I'll give them advice and whatever, but I don't know if I'll go back to full-time coaching
Hmm.
again.
Yeah, like I think everybody takes something out of this sport. I think some people have that mindset to be a coach. They can to popularize their lives from their clients' lives, but
Yeah.
it you when you're directly focused, especially on a prep, it can distract. I remember I talked to one lady. She had a coach, and he was competing, and then he didn't give her a plan or anything like that. She had to quit him, But then there's those coaches that understand that, what, if I'm prepping, I got to make sure that everybody else around me is good, and they're good at
Yeah.
it because they can really multitask. I think it's a natural thing with women. Men, we do one thing, we say focus on that thing, get it done. You women can do five, six things within one time.
Yeah, there were seasons where like I had amazing clients and it was fun and like it made me more motivated because they were motivated and we were just like vibing off each other. But then there were seasons where I just had like bad client after bad client. I just like and it was draining. So, yeah, I don't know, it's funny how things happen sometimes. Like I just sort of lost the passion for it, and that now I kind of I like helping people in like a little like not being their coach, but I like to just help people along more, and not as like they have to give me a whole bunch of money and I'm calling them every week. Like I don't know, it's more passive. I can just help them along.
Yeah, yeah. Well, sometimes you have coaches that have that mindset of like, "Fuck you, pay me." But it's good that you and your husband you did something and then it didn't work out, but now you moved on to something else. And he's also focused on his bodybuilding. Um, what show he's doing? Is he going to do a regional, get his national qualification, or or what's his plan?
He's doing this show. He's doing the Southern California, so it's a pro am, obviously. So he's doing the amateur side. And my best friend Mindy is also competing, and her husband as well. So all four of us are competing that day. But yeah, so he'll do this one, and depending on how he does, he might do the USA's again this year. He did it last year, and he was pretty disappointed with how he did, but it was his first USA's, so we all tried to tell him like it's okay. Like I don't know.
I know you home said, "It's all right, baby. I didn't win, baby. I didn't. It's all right, baby. I'm not a man, baby. I just, that's a good thing. But it's good that he has a woman like you in his corner. Because I know he was in corner several times when you went through your times. I said, you know what, baby, are so close. It's all right, baby. You can always get it next time. And it's
I
good that
know
your babies
it's.
are there. Like, which one of your girls feel like might be really interested in being a bodybuilder? The oldest, or the youngest?
I think the oldest, because she comes to the gym now with us, and she loves it. So yeah. But obviously the younger one isn't old enough to train with us yet. At our gym, you have to be you have to the she has to be 10. So yeah, so like we'll see. I mean, when she gets old enough, then we'll see if she has an affinity for it. But so far Katie is showing like a lot of potential. She loves it.
You think, I think fit model be a good division for her because she's still young, and
Mm.
it'd be a great startup division for her, and even though I find it a offensive division, but I've interviewed a couple ladies who done that division, and I
Yeah, I
respect
think I
them as
think
it does
Fit
it.
Model is great for young women, because they don't have to take anything to get into that division. They don't like there's not like all that pressure. They could just like if they want to compete, they can compete and sort of like get involved. Yeah, I think it's good for young women, like especially like juniors, 17 and up. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great it's a great starting division. To me again, I'm offended by it. Just I just it just brings out that dark side of me. Madeline, I just you know I'm just a dog chasing cars. I don't know what to do when I get one. So I'm sorry about him. I try to keep him under control. He pops out every now and then. So we're not gonna hold her much too much longer. I know she's a busy lady. She got men to take care, got babies to take care of,
Hmm.
and doing this sport, it's a lot for any person who gets into it. I think for women, that's why I pay attention to women more because the guys they get a lot more attention. The guys, especially particular divisions like the open men division, your husband's in men's figure, but I think the divisions that are kind of getting that stink eye is women's physique, women's bodybuilding, figures, even getting pushed out. I mean, it's about recognizing that this is your sport. You're dedicated to it. I don't know if you know this lady. Her name is Maria Beretta. And Maria told me a
Yes.
story a while back, yeah, where we did an interview a while back. This was right before she got a pro card. And she told me how one time she was just doing some posing. And so a guy walked up to her and said, I don't like that. That's fucking disgusting. And if you see Maria, I don't see, I mean, come on. This is not about you. It's about what she wants. If you don't like it, here's advice for
Mm.
you. To quote my man Bernie Mac, says, son, people don't like you, fuck them. Do what you do for you. Do
Yeah.
what inspires you. I wouldn't waste my time worrying about other people and their thoughts.
Yeah, no. Everybody else's opinion is none of your business. So it's just if someone has an opinion of you, like it doesn't matter. You're the one that has to look at yourself in the mirror. So, that's what matters. And I love being proud of myself every day. I feel accomplished every day. I love pushing myself and doing hard things every day. So yeah, it keeps me going. It sets me on fire every morning. I get up and I'm like, let's go. So I mean, that to me cannot be a negative thing. How could bodybuilding be a negative thing if that's how it's affecting me?
Yeah. And the thing is, one thing is also to support a family and friends, your husband, your kids, Wendy, everybody around you who supports you in your goals. Like, especially when it comes to the shows and they cheer for you. That's my wife up there. I'm so proud. That's my baby. And you do the same thing for him when he's on stage. But then, there's a guy say, "Hey, dude, your wife counted. She's a hot little, down under." Say, "Hey, you freak! Hey, that's my wife." That's been, like. But people don't understand again the dedication, the work, the time you put into it. We go to shows, we see these amazing bodies, but don't understand what it took to get there. Tired, dehydrated. I know there's times, especially when you're on prep and your kids they don't eat what you eat. And your mom got to cook for the kids, and sometimes they're eating chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese, and you're eating dry rice and quinoa, and you're like, yeah, I want to punch you in the face, take your food, but no, you have to be very disciplined when you're doing this sport.
Yeah, I don't take a second look at chicken nuggets. You couldn't pay me to eat a chicken nugget in the off season, but somehow in prep, those chicken nuggets they smell pretty good.
I mean, with food, with a lot of bodybuilders, food, there are a lot of them foods that like it'd be like a movie called New Jack City, be like Chris Rock saying, "Be calling my name, man, be calling my name," be just like calling my name. But that's the thing is, that's the important part about being consistent, disciplined,
Mhm.
patient, dedicated. You don't want to derail opportunities. You don't want to taste like, "Baby, can Mama have your?" Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. But that's the important of it.
No,
We
they know. They don't even ask me anymore. They know
we
when I'm
have
in show prep. They don't. They used to. They used to be like, "Why can't you have that? Why can't you have ice cream?" But now they're like, they maybe sometimes they'll go, "Do you want to bite?" And then they go, "Oh, actually, sorry, I forgot." And then like, you know, so they get it.
Yeah, we have here from Antone. He says this. He says he's picking on me saying, he's saying, he says, "Damn, bro, chill." Nah, I can't chill. I can't chill. Sometimes, again, I'm a particular type of criminal. I just love anarchy and chaos. It just makes me who I am. I'm sorry. So we're done with him. He'll I try to keep control. I'm seeing a specialist, but so we're not going to hold the lovely Miss Shanko too long. Um, what would you say? I'm asking you this. What you feel like will be a thing that really, for you, that would get you to your goals? What was, especially as a bodybuilder, what would feel like thing that really would get you at the level you feel like you want to be in the sport?
um, what would get me? Well, I said more money earlier, but I guess more, just even more time to commit to the sport, like, and get more involved with the IFBB. And I don't know, like, I love that I've chosen a career that I can choose my own schedule. So massage therapy is very flexible. So I've kind of like, I have literally designed my life around bodybuilding. I went to school for over a year so that I could get a career that fits around bodybuilding, not the other way around. So I'm putting things into play, and thinking about, long term, because I want to. I pretty much I want to do this forever, so, or as long as I can.
Yeah, and I think the money thing is important. It could help the cost of your next competition, your prep, your food, your travel expenses, your here making bringing your own crew in. They can like we got everything done. Everything's get everything put
Oh,
together,
I
baby.
would
We got
love
you.
to have a glam squad. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. But one thing I wish I could do was like sponsor competitors. Like and sponsorship does help. Like I said, Miss Stinkin, Miss Madeline, we will be interested in sponsoring you in your next competition. We have a product that might help you in your process, but if it's something that feel like you can use,
Hmm.
um, in your process as a bodybuilder, we would love to have you be a brand ambassador. So if you feel like our product works for you, it's something you feel like you can use, we'd love for you to join us. And we also want to see you grow as a bodybuilder. That was something I would love to do if I could do it, ma'am. I know it really helps out. You can don't be as stressed about I gotta, how one person told me like you have to steal from people to pay Paul. But where things going now, I know you're out in California, y'all gas is like high. Gas too damn high over there. I
Yes.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you
the
know, you,
gas is killing us.
yeah. I mean, you now you got to
Yeah.
start getting your little kids uh tricycle to get to the gym.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. But anyway,
well,
we
that'd be
have to
cool.
think. Hmm?
But we could talk more about that, and like the ambassadorship and things like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, that sounds
that's something
cool.
good. I mean, Will Straight was doing that for women's bodybuilding for a good while. Jake Wood, shout out to Jake Wood, and I'm a fan of Jake Wood. Yo Jake, I want that money, I want that gun. But I wish I can do that. I live where I don't, but I know a friend of mine. She does a friend. You she's looking to sponsor athletes. There's also other people who like to sponsor athletes. You have a great story, being from growing up in the Middle East, what your father has done, your past, your life. I think you have a great background. And probably if someone interested in sponsoring an athlete like yourself, they would. I wish I could do it, but I'm broke as a joke. It's about but
But no, honestly, like I know I joke around about it, but like honestly, that's a big conversation in bodybuilding, how expensive it is. And I do would love sponsorships and things like that. But at the same time, I will find a way. It doesn't matter. I will keep doing this. We always have and we always will. We've shown up at shows with our bank account in the negative. So like I just we are just like insane, really. But I mean, we've always had food in the fridge. The kids have clothes on their back, and all our bills are paid. But we have shown up to a couple of shows with our bank account pretty low. But we've always made it work. I don't know.
well, my mom had to raise six kids, and you know what? She had to make a dollar bleed sometimes. Find a way to stretch. My mom, she knew she one thing she taught us is the hustle, and that's the thing. The hustle is the way you get around. I mean, I say there's always a way around a mousetrap, and if you can make it, you can get yourself going. And then, like I said again, you have people that support your goals. And who want to see
Mhm.
you reach that top level in the sport. That's good. Again, this sport is, I say this, it's a sport where you put more into it than you get back out of it. And
Mhm.
I wish it was like a professional sport, like you look at football, baseball, basketball, we can make a living off of. Where okay, I just gotta just go to the shows, get paid, and then that's it. But again, because
Yeah.
of it's more close to a hobby than it is actual sport, that's the big problem. And just gotta find people, like one thing you have to have a social media presence, you have to be active on that, and also have to find something that you're comfortable with, promoting. Because sometimes not all money is good money.
I know. I am on TikTok, by the way. I don't know if you've seen my TikTok, but yeah. So like I am trying to build up that kind of president presence, and it's definitely a slow process with all of that. For me, I mean, I love this sport and it is my full passion and everything. But my sort of my ultimate goal is to kind of get more involved like Wendy. Like, I mean, I use her as an example for everything pretty much because she is my mentor, and she is like she's who I look up to mostly in this sport. So she's just built such an incredible career, like in general. Like even if she retired today, she's still so successful, and now she gets to do things that she loves. Like she gets to travel the world, talk about bodybuilding, talk to people in the industry and stuff like that. So I would love to do something like that where, like obviously it's going to take some time. She's like 15 years ahead of me, but yeah. I think it can give you a lot of opportunities. Um, like you said, we put a lot more into this sport than we get out of sometimes. But I still, call me crazy, but I still see it as an investment.
It's investment of who you want to be in the sport,
Mm,
who you want to, what you want to do. Again, Whitney's doing pretty good. She's working with the Olympia. She's her
yeah.
one lady who I follow, a fan of, Linda Murray. They do their Film Flex Friday. Maybe next time be a guest on there. She should be.
And
There's
she's in Paris right now with doing. She's talking at an expo called Shield. So maybe look into that. It's like this big women's expo thing. So I don't know too much about it, but yeah, like she's literally traveling the world. So pretty cool. I want that job.
yeah. And one thing is, she has the bone. She don't have no kids, so
They would come with me. It's
that's
okay.
great. They get to travel the world. That's why I think children need to get education. Just not
What
confined
do
to
they
just
need
what.
school for anyway? So
Yeah.
they
Well,
just come with me.
you gotta, most things you have a diploma. They say you can't even nowadays you can't even sweep
I know.
a hallway without a college diploma. I went to school a couple of times, but I grew up a country boy. We did a lot of farming and stuff like that. But then, it's good to have education. Just to have that there, but also experience does help.
Yeah.
So, folks, we going to thank the lovely Mrs. Stanek for taking time out and talking with us. Shout out to her. As you know, she's going to be doing what's the show again? So, for people who want to check it out.
The Xana Rotar Figure Pro. It's the same day. It's June 6th. Same day as the Southern California in San Diego. So
June 6th. Also, that same weekend is also the Toronto Super Show. And that is, as you know, I support any show to support women's bodybuilding. I want to give a shout out to those competitors who can compete that weekend. I will talk about the show because, as my channel, I do want to give you ladies like yourself opportunity to share your stories. And support it. I may not watch it, but I will support. Because I will do like you go check my IG. I just posted a video for ladies competing in Pittsburgh this weekend, and I do
mhm.
that every so often. And some ladies really appreciate it because you know what, it's only a few people that bring attention, like myself, my man David over the Female Bodybuilding Forum, also the guys on the Female Bodybuilding channel, and also Claudio Hardcore Fitness. Shout out my man KL the Wonder, also does content. He's more a fan of women muscle not as much as the sport. But we want to give y'all ladies a chance to share your voice, to let people know who you are, what gets you here, what's your dedication, and also what guides you and what drives you in a sport that's very considered very masculine. But you know what? You can find something feminine about it, and you are very feminine.
I mean, yeah, and I don't look masculine next to my husband, so it depends on who you stand next to. So, and I
Well,
mean, I don't really want to be affiliated with someone that I look more masculine. I don't know. So like
I, again,
that's
man,
what I laugh about mostly when people go, "Oh, you're so masculine." It's like maybe next to you.
tell them to get your weight up, get in the gym,
Yeah.
work out. Get some hair in your chest. If you feel this woman like here, this is a lovely lady, makes you feel that masculine. That's a problem with you, not with
Yeah, that's a
her.
you
It's with you.
problem.
It's a you problem, not me. You. So get your man, just get your head right. So,
Yeah,
folks, I
thank you
want
so
to
much for putting women's bodybuilding into the light more and giving us a place to share our stories and things. I really appreciate it.
Well, again, man, from one of my favorite movies, Batman Begins, he says this: "You never have to, because you know what? I appreciate the opportunity to have you on, and any person, even if it is fit model." I, I appreciate any opportunity to have you ladies share your story because maybe some out there, as maybe a woman like yourself, or not even a man like you, who maybe try to find something that drives them, and then they find this sport, and again, it's about what you want out of it the most for yourself. I wouldn't worry about what else got to say. Everybody got opinion, and you know what? Your opinion maybe not of yourself, might be the opinion of you. Just you gotta live your life. You gotta live for yourself, and also you gotta live for your babies because they love you, support you. You're the guiding light for them to what a woman should be or be determined to be. That's most safely. You teach your children, and they will, really follow you, because the fact is you're doing something that I think not everybody has the same courage, discipline, or mindset to do, and that's one thing is important. If they support you and your husband support you and people around you support you, no one else really matters.
No, yeah, no, you're totally right.
Mhm.
They definitely motivate me. They are my why, and that's probably why I've done it for so long now, because I have a strong why. So yeah.
We have him man Tone. He says this. He says, "I love her muscles." So yeah. There you go. There you go, Tone. You got a little flex. So put away the lotion tissue and be good. So, folks, we like to thank Madeline for coming through. Shout out to my guest Tone coming through. Marco. Also my man KL the Wanderer, Red Samurai, and who watch this video, subscribe, follow, check us out. Follow Madeline on our social media platforms. Reach out and generate interest and support. Don't be that weird guy. Like I said, my husband's an ex-Marine. He rips down your head, shit down your throat. So, so be respectful, reach out and generate interest, and just, really give support to these women in support of bodybuilding. So anyway, folks, again, this is your man, always George Page. I'd like to appreciate you for your time. Thank you. Congratulations. Good best of luck to her. She's going to compete in June 6th at the Centaura show
The
in
Xana Rotar.
Santa Rotar in California. They will, I think they do a live stream. So when I do a video, I will put the live stream in the link for the video. You can check it out and support her and the competitors at that show. Anyway, this is man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. Good night, good luck, God bless, and see you next time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And